Last night, I scampered myself off to my local AMC theater so I could go see the first Screen Unseen, which is AMC's version of a mystery screening, right? You pay $5, go to the movie theater, and you're going to see an upcoming movie that's not out in theaters yet. You don't know what it's going to be. Now, I've gone to a couple of these at Regal, and I got burned both times by like piddly little movies that nobody wanted to see, and they were just kind of thrown in there. And I said, look, this one better be either Marvel's or Next Goal Wins. Because if it's anything other than those two, and it's just some limited release, little indie film that nobody otherwise was going to go see, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. Now, I thought there was a slight probability that it was going to be the Marvels, but when the last trailer played before the movie started was the Marvels, I knew it was going to be the Marvels. So I'm like, it better be Next Goal Wins. And sure enough, the movie they played for the first AMC Screen Unseen is Next Goal Wins. Not the Marvels, but actually a pretty good get for them. The new Taika Waititi film. All right. Let me say this up front. I, as many of you guys may know, am a massive Taika Waititi fan. He is a brilliant, one of our generation's best, an Academy Award winning filmmaker. Whether you look back at his stuff like Hunt for the Wilder People, you're looking at stuff like What We Do in the Shadows, you know, the movie, his Academy Award winning thing in Jojo Rabbit, which is like one of the best films I've seen in the past 10 years. Whether it's like one of the best comic book movies ever made in Thor Ragnarok, like, and what he did with Mandalorian, the work he did on Mandalorian, he's incredible. Now, Thor Love and Thunder was a bit of a step down, off day. Everybody has an off day at the office. So I've been really kind of enthusiastic and excited to see this new movie of his, Next Goal Wins. It's not great. And I'll tell you what else. With all the platitudes I just gave Taika Waititi, and I worship the guy. I think he's amazing. This was not a well-directed movie either. Now, you know, I was talking to Chris a bit before the show started today, and I mentioned it just shocked me because it felt like, you know, it's the same way I kind of felt watching Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like, I feel like I'm watching somebody who's directing a movie for the very first time in their life. And that's what Next Goal Wins. Like, I would have sworn that maybe Taika Waititi was a producer on it, but he's the director of the film, and it's not a well-directed film. Let me talk about some of the positives. There are a few really good laugh out loud moments. Not many, but there are a couple. The characters, if you've watched the trailers for Next Goal Wins, yeah, you might get the sense that these are going to be really lovable characters that, you know, we're going to fall in love with and we're going to enjoy. And you know what? We do. The characters are infinitely likable. They're incredibly endearing. They find a place in your heart right away. And that's an important big thing for a movie like this. And they do. I found myself loving the characters and I wanted to cheer for them. The problem is, as a comedy, there wasn't enough laughs. It had some really good ones, but not enough. It's important to have these great characters, but then you got to give some depth to the character. And other than this one character here at the foreground, the one in the yellow shirt, this character has actually a pretty good backstory and some pretty good depth in the story, but everything else was very shallow and like very one-dimensional, and like things just happen. You know, like for instance, you know, you get the sense that Michael Fassbender is this hard-edged coach, but eventually he'll warm up. But it's like in one scene, he's still hard-edged and kind of grumpy. And then in the very next scene, after about a 10-second montage, he's like, I love these guys. It's like all these things never get built up. They're not developed. They don't work. Now, they had some high-profile other appearances. There are some other actors who pop up in this that I like very much that popped up in there. But even then, their characters felt very flat, one-dimensional. It just worked. Look, the character that steals the show for me is, I don't have a picture of him right now, but the character that steals the show for me is the guy who is the president of football in American Samoa. Because when he talks, you'd think it was Korg. All right. Like he just speaks like Korg, and he was a wonderful character. And you will come out of the theater saying boobs on my face. I'm just saying that's That's going to be something that's going to be on your mind because of this character. Wonderful character. But yeah, at the end of the day, a comedy that just wasn't funny enough, endearing characters without really using those characters in a developed story and making a good narrative story flow. I gotta say, I think it's my least favorite Taika Waititi movie, Chris.
Whoa.
And I think I preferred Thor: Love and Thunder to this because I thought there were more, like many bad, overly silly jokes, but I had some more legit laughs in Thor Ragnarok because some of the jokes landed really well than I did in this. And I don't think many people are going to go see this. And I don't think it's a terrible movie, but we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Fume. Quitting cold turkey is great in theory, but you and I both know it's way more difficult than that. And that's why there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some fake online promises. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. And they look at the problem in a different way. Instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavor-aired device that does just that. See, instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. I personally didn't know what to expect when I first got my Fume. I mean, I've never liked vapes, but my goodness, the taste. The first time I tried it, I was completely sold on it. It was incredible. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you. You gotta try the new Solano Fume. It's made with a premium walnut barrel and an onyx-coated mouthpiece that has a slightly softer finish. Start the holidays off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/Campea and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 20% off until December 1st when they use my code Campea to help make starting the good habit that much easier. So start the good habit at tryfume.com/Campea to save an additional 20% off the journey pack today until December 1st and 10% off year-round. I'm a big Taika Waititi fan, but this one didn't work for me. Where have your expectations been for this?
I've been really excited about this, honestly. I
So
love
was I.
Taika. Like, I want Michael Fassbender to be in great movies. He's so good. He's so good. And I feel like either his management team or just the projects he signed on to have had a weird kind of discrepancy where it seems like a great idea and then it's not, or his management team has an idea of what he should do. But man, he's one of the greatest actors, I think, who just can't find a great script. And he can sell stuff, but if the story's not there, the character's not there, it's hard. And I really love, like, the All Blacks. I love watching them do the haka.
Yeah, they have,
And
and this
so
team has their own version of the haka in it. This American Samoa soccer team has like their own version. By the way, I learned a lot in this movie. For instance, I didn't know there was a difference between Samoa and American Samoa. I did not know that. I did not know that American Samoa only has a population of 57,000 people. I did not know that. It was actually, I learned some pretty cool things in it. Like, that's why I said it's not a terrible movie. There are some enjoyable things there, just not enough.
yeah, that's a shame to hear. I'm still gonna probably see it, I'm gonna be honest, especially because Logan is a huge Taika fan. We're really big fans, too, of Our Flag Means Death, and so we've loved watching him act lately. I just wish, because we were talking about this the show before the show started. I wish that he would, I don't know, get back to that kind of comedy that really worked for him. It seems like he's just getting zanier, weirder, more hashtag so random, kind of that early aughts humor, as opposed to some of the just really clever stuff that I remember seeing in What We Do in Shadows, in some of his earlier work, and some of the heartbreaking things that he could balance with humor, like Jojo Rabbit. Maybe this is more of what he wants to do. Maybe it's more of these kind of light, fair things, but I'll have to see it for myself.
Here's how I would make a distinction between it. It felt like when you go back to What We Do in the Shadows, like the movie, not the TV show,
Yeah.
I felt like Taika's brand was a sober zaniness. Starting in Thor: Love and Thunder, it became a drunk zaniness. And I think he's got to get his zaniness back to a state of sobriety because that's just when it clicked better. It's just when it worked better. So, yeah. So whatever. I mean, again, I don't think it's terrible. I think that when you have a movie that has characters you love, it makes it a lot easier for audiences to walk out liking the film. And I think there will be audiences that like this film. I hope there are. There was too many weaknesses in it and not enough of that good stuff to make it something that I can then recommend to people to go see. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on that, guys. I hope you guys have a chance to go see it. And if you do go see Next Goal Wins, please let me know what you guys thought about it. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.